All right. So when it comes to how you can refer to your clients or your prospects' business, there are a lot of options out there in front of you. However, the one option that I strongly encourage you consider removing from your verbiage is when you say to them, well, I work with small businesses or I work with small to medium sized businesses like yours. Remove the small or the small to medium sized business out of the equation. Now, look, I fully acknowledge that your organization may have multiple sales divisions based on a number of different factors. There might be enterprise, there might be mid-market, there might be major accounts, and of course, you might be in the SMB division based on factors such as the client revenue size, headcount, locations, and so on. But when you actually say to the client or the prospect, I work with small businesses like yours, or I work with small to medium-sized businesses like yours, without even really being conscious of it, I think you're really vulnerable to having insulted them and insulting their business. Like, I'll give you an example. For me, as a business owner here at SOAR Training, my company, I acknowledge when I compare it against some of the just global behemoths out there in terms of companies, I acknowledge that my company would absolutely be considered a small to medium-sized business. I mean, from a headcount perspective, there's myself in Toronto, there's my two business partners, David and Marnell Hibbert in California, and we have a couple of other, facilitators and partners across North America. So from that perspective, I get it. We are absolutely considered a small to medium-sized company versus some of the, global enterprises out there. However, when a salesperson contacts me, either over the phone, via email, or through a message through LinkedIn, and they say, well, I work with small to medium-sized companies, my first thought is, well, you have the wrong business, because I do not consider my company to be a small to medium-sized company at all. I mean, from a headcount perspective, I get it, but from a revenue perspective, we're not a small company. And from a global perspective as well, we do businesses with companies all across the world. So I think, well, you've got the wrong company. That's just not for me. And so the alternative for you, while I acknowledge that you might be in the SMB division, is to say to them, well, I work with businesses or I work with companies. Why do you have to say I work with small to medium-sized companies? Because there's no win there for you. So I would really highly encourage that you consider removing the verbiage. Just say I work with businesses, I work with companies. And of course, if you do have to label, the type of companies you work with, the alternative to small to medium-sized businesses is to simply say, well, I work with local businesses. So that's what I suggest you do. There's no win at all to say I work with small to medium-sized companies like yours. I think you're really vulnerable and exposed to insulting their business. So give that a shot. And of course, good luck with it.